will work with a concept, couple concepts. One is called reciprocal inhibition. And the idea of that is when, let's just say you're working with the leg, when one side of the leg is engaged, let's say the quads, then the hamstrings will have a better time being able to release. Or opposite is true. If the hamstrings are engaged, then the quad will have an easier time releasing. And then another thing we'll work with is engaging the muscle first before we take a stretch. So often, sometimes things are just kind of locked tight, and if we go to stretch from there, it'll help a little bit. But if we go from the engaged state to like a extra engaged state, and then when we let it go, it'll let go more, hopefully. Yeah? So that's my plan. We'll do a lot of stuff that you're probably familiar with. We'll just explore it with that frame. Yeah? Any questions about it? No. Okay. So we'll start laying down, and yeah, yay. And have your strap device handy. We won't use it yet, but for the moment, you can be any way that you're comfortable in terms of if your legs are bent or straight. Arms too, they could be just anywhere you like. Oh yeah. And if it feels okay to close your eyes, allow that to happen. And just give yourself a moment to arrive. Let the next hour be just for you here on your mat. And bring your awareness. We'll start at the crown of the head. And just take a very slow journey from the head down the body. And notice if anything is tensing or gripping, or if there's just anything significant that stands out to you. And not trying to fix or adjust, just simply notice. And depending on how quick your journey is, you might be all the way down, you might be somewhere in the middle. Let's finish up this exploration and take a very slow, easy turn of your head from side to side. And then we'll let the head rest. Let's have the left leg long on the floor. And bend the right knee, just bring the right knee in towards your chest. You give the leg a little squeeze. And then we'll keep the knee bent, release the squeeze a bit, and just start to move the leg around. And think of in the ball and socket joint, just creating a little lubrication here. You can use the arms to stir the leg, or you can use the leg to stir the leg, but try to be soft right around the hip crease. Yeah, and then we'll let the movement settle, and we'll take your strap, put it over the right foot, and send the right leg up. Now, in the beginning, this might be just hamstring stretch, and that's all that you notice. So give yourself a moment just to do what you need to do to stretch the hamstring. I'm not going to say too much, but anything you want here is fine. And then any kind of movement settle. And let's back off somewhat of the leg stretch. So let the leg come a little bit away from you. And again, try to stay relaxed in the hip crease and in the ball and socket joint, and just give the leg a little circle. And the size of the circle really it's up to you. But if you feel that the circle is not so round, if it's kind of lumpy or if it has sharp edges, see if you can go smaller so that it's a nice, smooth, round, even circle. And then we'll change the circle direction. Great. And let's let the movement settle here. And now allow the leg again to just come a little bit away from your body and pretend there's a wall in front of your leg, and press the heel into this imaginary wall. So trying to press the leg away from you. And in doing so, the back of the leg, the hamstrings, possibly the calf muscles will turn on. And then from here, let the effort go and just let the leg pull in a little towards you. So we're gonna do that 2 more times. So let the leg come a little away and pretend you're pressing into a wall or just something. And then back off the effort, let the leg come towards you. Let's take it 1 more time, press. And then before we release, when we do release, you'll let the leg just come any amount towards your head. A-okay if the pelvis tucks under, A-okay if the bottom leg does something weird. So go ahead and let go. And now bring the right leg any amount towards you. Yeah. All right, now we'll do the same idea. Let's bring the leg just up to center and move the straps into the right hand. Let's take the leg over to the right, but not far, maybe like a foot or 2. And now create a little, just an imaginary barrier on the inner line of the leg, and try to pull the leg in towards the midline without going there. You can use your strap to kind of pull out so that you have something to press into. And then you'll back off. We'll do that one 2 more times. So press in towards the midline and back off. And then this last one here, this is different from what I normally would tell you. When you back off, let the leg just flop over to the right any amount. So go ahead, let's do that now. A-okay for this version if the left hip kind of pops up. Yeah, how often do I say that, right? Never. Good, good. And then we'll do the same concept here when we take the leg over. So let's come back up to the center, move the strap now into the left hand. We'll take the right leg over the midline just a couple inches, not too far. And before we do this, let's bend the right knee for a second, little bit, and press the hip crease down away from your head. Try to keep it there as you re-straighten the leg on the diagonal line. And now press the leg outward towards the right without going anywhere. And you can pull the strap a little to the left to create a little resistance. And then you'll back off. We'll do that one twice more. So press out and release. And then this last one, we press out. You choose when we release if you want to go over just a little or a lot. So go ahead and release. Let's take the leg over any amount. And let this part be rather passive. Yeah. That's a nice one, isn't it? I don't know about you guys, though. I find it more satisfying if we do the work before the stretch. And then let's come back up to the center. We'll take the strap off the leg and put the leg down and just pause for a second. If you're okay to have both legs straight, do that. Yeah. And just imagine here you were laying in the sand and notice your body's imprint in the sand, the right side and the left side. Yeah. So methinks we'd better do the left side. Let's first just bring the knee in towards the chest. Give the leg a little squeeze, a little compression. And then you'll back off of the compression and just move the leg around any which way with the knee bent. You could use the arms to stir or the leg to stir. All right. And then we'll pause and strap up the foot, strap your band or your belt, whatever you've got. And at first, just give yourself a moment for a hamstring stretch. Anything is fine. Hello, little wasp. You know, maybe it just wants to do some yoga. I get it. Yeah, it's good for everybody. Okay. Then from here, let the leg come, just back off of your max stretch and start to make some circles. Think of just a little loosening here in the ball and socket. Try to make the movement smooth and round. So no lumpy circles here. And go the other direction. But whenever I go this direction, it's not a circle anymore. So I have to really pay attention. All right, and then let's pause. And you'll take the leg, again, just back off from your max stretch. Pretend you have the wall in front of you and you're pressing the heel into the wall. So the back of the leg turns on a little bit. And then you'll back off of the effort, let the leg come a little towards you. We'll do that 2 more times. So press ahead and back off. And then this last one here, remember on this last one, when we back off, take the leg any amount, A-okay if the pelvis tucks under for this version. So let's go ahead and get there. Yeah. All right, and then come back to center. Let's move the straps into the left hand and just go a little bit to the left, but not too far. And from here, our effort will be trying to pull in. So try to pull the foot in towards the midline, but pull the hand out to create a little barrier. And then back off. We'll do that 2 more times. So come in with the leg, out with the arm. And back off. Yeah, last one. I actually like this with the stretchy band because you get a little more give to it. All right, when you relax, go ahead, just let it go. Any amount is fine. Okay if the right hip pops up. Don't get too used to doing it this version, just for today. All right, and then upright yourself with the leg and move the strap now into the right hand. We'll take the leg over the midline, and before we do the effort here, bend the knee a little bit and try to pull the hip crease down away from your head. Keep that alignment as you re-straighten or straighten-ish the leg. And now bring the leg outward towards the left as you pull the strap in towards the right. And then back off. And do that one twice more. Yeah. Now, after you've done this third one, your choice when you take the leg over, it might go just a little bit. You could go all the way down. Depending on what angle the leg is, you'll feel a different stretch. So you might get it more the IT band or the kind of the outer hip. Okay. And then up comes your leg. Let's release that. Put the strap to the side and just lay down in the sand again. Check it out. Take a breath in and a breath out. Yeah. And then in a second, I know we could just stay here, but in a second we'll come off your back. If it feels good before you come off the back, just to roll around a little bit, take anything you need. And then when you are ready, we'll head into our all fours position, hands and knees. So get there any way you like. Do feel free to put any blanket under the knees if you need that for padding. Yeah. And then at first, yogis, when we arrive here, just move around any way that feels good. So that might be circles or side bends. We will do a more formal cat-cow in a second. As you're wiggling around here, notice what's moving easily and what's maybe not moving so easily. And we'll press back into child's pose. Let's keep the arms forward. Go up onto your fingertips, spider fingers, and give the mat a little, almost like a scrunch up action so that the wrists lift and the palms of the hands lift. If you're able to maintain this hand position, do that coming back to all fours. If that's not working out, just go flat hands again. And now let's do our cat-cow with this hand position. More or less, more or less. Yeah, you can fool with that too. You might have to take them a little forward or a little wider, just whatever's comfortable. Yeah. Now that we have our hands higher, some of us, you might be able to get more of a lift in the belly. So let's do that. Round the back into cat pose. And see if you can really hollow the belly and press down the fingertips and down with the shins. And then on the inhale, just let that relax. So do that a few more times. Let the emphasis be on the exhale, and you might even pause on empty before you inhale and let it go. And we'll stretch out the fingers in a second. Good. And then you'll complete this last one, and we'll head back to child's pose again. Once you get there, let's flip the hands over and just bend and straighten the fingers. Yeah, you can give them a little wiggle, whatever feels good. You can give the hips a little wiggle as well. Okay, so from here, we'll give the hands a break. Let's come forward and down onto your belly. And hand position is up to you. You could rest like so. You could have the hands more like cobra. You could keep the forehead down or lift a little, up to you. Let's scooch the legs one at a time back and down. And then from here, without letting the pelvis tip from side to side, can you lift up a little through the low belly? You'll feel the tailbone go down slightly, but don't squeeze the tailbone. And then let the right leg lift up. It's not going to lift high. And bring it back down. Let's do that on the left leg. So lift the left leg, almost think of stretching back to lift up. Yeah, and then we'll go right side again. We'll add on the brain power here. Lift up from the inner thigh and the inner knee. And that might feel a little different. And then down, left side from the inner thigh and the inner knee. And down. Great, we'll do both together. So draw back through the legs, lift up through the inner line of the leg as they lift. And then lower, we'll do two more of those. Draw back and up, lift. And lower. Last one, lift. And lower. Go ahead and put your hands, just fold the hands, rest the forehead down. Bend the knees and give the legs a little swish from side to side like a windshield wiper. Good, good. Okay, let's put the feet down and head into downward facing dog. Go ahead and just get there. And for the first down dog, it might feel good just to move. Yeah, the first one's always a little tight. You can pedal the legs or shift the hips around. Oh, you can make some noise. All right. Now we'll stay in down dog, but make some adjustments. Let's take your feet wide, about as wide as the mat. Bend your knees and keep the knees bent. Try to press the mat forward with your hands so that the hips draw back. At the very tops of the thighs, widen. And when you do that, you might feel the knees go apart. We'll adjust that in a second. Hug in through your ankles, and that'll make the knees point forward. Slowly let the legs start to go straighter. Most of us, the heels will be a little lifted. Some of you might be able to touch the heels to the floor. Pretend there's a magnetic connection between the heels and the floor. So even if they don't touch, they're going that direction. All right, friends, let's bend the knees. Walk the hands back, just heading to the back of the mat. Prop up for a second with the forearms on the thighs. Move the pelvis back, move the chest forward. Elongate a little bit. Press down into the soles of the feet. Let's use the inhale to rise. All the way up we come. And exhale, just release the arms. Great. Now you can stay in your wide stance. Just bend the knees a little bit, loosen up a little bit, and move around any which way. All right. So we'll let the movement settle. Let's stay at the back of the mat and make your feet, so the feet are just right underneath you. We'll do a number of different chair poses in our class today. So we'll start with this one. Bend the knees, bring the hips back, and let's take the hands to prayer. These actions I'll repeat again and again. So at the tops of the thighs, press apart. And when you do that, you'll feel the knees widen. In your feet, draw in through the ankles. And also in the feet, press down through the ball of the big toe. That's the toe knuckle. Yeah. And then in doing so, I'm hoping you feel a little work through the sides of the thighs and in the back, so it's not all in the front. You'll still feel a little in the front. You got it. Yeah. All right. Sink back a little deeper. Keep pressing out and then down with the ball of the big toe. Inhale. Exhale, down we go, forward fold, lift the hips, drop the head. Come up halfway, lengthen. And then down we go. We'll walk the hands forward until you get to plank, and we'll stay for a little bit. If you need to put the knees down or just do all fours, that's fine. Can you broaden the collarbones? And then at the same time, lift up just below the navel. Breathe in. On the exhale, don't round the back, but see if you can find a little more of that hollow belly that we practiced in cat-cow. Yeah, and then on the inhale, back off slightly. Let's do that 2 more times. Little exhale, lift. Oh, yeah. And then relax. And then do it 1 more time, Mercedes. Don't drop your head. And Brianna, lift more. Yes. And then everybody down. We come onto the belly. Yeah, you can get there fast enough. And then just relax for a second. Yeah. Let's do slither cobra. So you'll take the hands in cobra position. Lift the chest just a little bit, and then one shoulder at a time does a little roll, and you slither on the floor. Great. Now, from here, let's pause, keeping the hands in this position. Lift the shoulders away from the floor and point the elbows towards the back of the mat. Without moving your hands, try to pull the hands to your feet, pull the chest forward. Keeping that, draw back through the toes and lift up through the inner line of the leg, inner thighs, inner knees. Now, if you're feeling any sort of pinching at all in the lower back, lower the chest a bit and keep this pull action. Think more forward than upward. Yeah, great. And then relax. Let's press back, going into downward facing dog. Just get there. You can have the feet narrow or wide, your choice. Bend the knees a little, just like we did before. Press the mat forward, send the hip creases back. Press wider through the upper thighs. Hug in a little through the ankles, and then slowly go straighter in the legs. They may or may not actually go straight. Once you're in your position, can you tone the belly without rounding in the back? Okay. And then from here, friends, let's head to the front of the mat, feet forward. Root down through the legs. Inhale all the way up. We come lifting the arms. Exhale, release the arms. Yay. All right, yogis. So you may want blocks for the next bit, and if you don't have them, don't worry about it. But if you've got them, go ahead and set them up. Yay. So we'll do a couple more chair poses, and I'll explain it as we go along. So keep the feet a little apart. Bend the knees, bring the hips back. Just for a second, take your thumbs in the hip crease. Pull back and press down with the thumbs. Elongate a little bit more through the spine, so your spine's kind of reaching out on the diagonal. That's it. From here, let's keep the hands here for a second. Press wide through the upper thighs. You might feel kind of firming sensation there. Hug in through the ankles. Press down through the ball of the big toe. Let's keep that all happening. Let go with the hands and just take them to prayer. Sink back any amount deeper, keeping this press apart and the rooting down happening. Yeah. Now from here, can you go so low that the belly and the thighs meet? Maybe, maybe not, without letting that connection go. Start to lift the hips, straightening the legs. Hands might go on the floor, on your shins, or on blocks. Don't lose the connection, even if the knees have to stay bent. We're going back into chair. Bend the knees deeper. Hands come back to prayer. Press wide through the upper thighs, in through the ankles, down through the ball of the big toe. Yeah, I'm sweating bullets, just if you wondered. Yeah. All right. One more time, we're going to keep this belly-thigh connection. Start to lift the hips up. Don't lose the connection, even if you don't go all the way straight in the legs. Yeah, you might have found you've gotten a little lower down the second time. Let's go ahead and disengage. Come up halfway, lengthen. Oh, relief. And then down we go, hands to the floor, plank to the belly. Yeah, great. All right, friends. So from here, yeah, just you can wiggle for a second if you need a little rest. Scooch the legs back a bit so you have some more room in the front of the thighs. And now we'll do something to work, again, the backs of the legs. So just bend the right knee. That's it. And think of reaching the knee towards the back of the mat without letting the right half of the pelvis lift. Can you lift the right thigh? It's not going to go high, like an inch or so. Yeah, straight up towards the ceiling. Good. And then relax, keep the knee bent. Let's do just a few times, like a little pulse up and down. And I'm hoping you feel gluteus maximus, maybe a little hamstrings. Yeah, good. And then release and swap sides. So bend the left knee. Send the center of the knee towards the back of the mat. And then without lifting the pelvis, lift the left thigh, just a little bit. And down. Do that a few times, up and down. So the gluteus is, think of it almost like the back of the psoas muscle. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll show later on the skeleton, yeah. But when we can engage back here, that can theoretically release a little bit in the front. All right, go ahead and rest. Just take a little wiggle from side to side. Yeah. Okay, so let's head back into our downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Yeah, and then go ahead, do it on your own. I won't say all the, or I'll say them quickly. Bend, and then press hands, press thighs apart, hug the ankles, and re-straighten. And if you find that those instructions useful, you can go through that little pattern every time. When you're ready to come out of this, let's come to the front of the mat, feet forward. Root down through the legs, come all the way up to stand. Inhale the arms up. Yeah, and release the arms. Great. Go ahead, let's take a little hula hoop asana to celebrate. Yeah. Aha, and go the other direction. Yeah, you guys can't see online. They're all dancing in the studio. Okay. Yeah. You know, I used to do music, but since I'm putting them on YouTube, there's a licensing thing, so I can't do it. But you know, someday we'll have music again. Someday. All right, friends. So we're at the front of the mat. If you're using blocks, just reset, have them handy. Guess what? We're going to do another round of the chair poses. Yay. If you want to have the feet together, that's fine. For my body, it feels more comfortable a little bit apart. So you decide. Knees bend, hips come back, hands to prayer, widen through the upper thighs, narrow in through the ankles, and press down through the ball of the big toe. Sit back any amount deeper. If you can connect belly and thighs, do. Now, make sure when you do this, you're not coming here with the knees really forward. You want to think bringing the hips back, back, back. Yes. All right, belly and thighs are connected. Lift the hips, drop down, forward fold without disconnecting belly and thighs, even if the knees are still bent. We're going to do it one more time. Knees bend again. I know, come up. Press the tops of the thighs back and apart. Hug in through the ankles, root down through the ball of the big toe. Yeah, it's work. But then the stretch will be better when we come out. Let's do it. Forward fold. Am I right? Yeah. We'll go ahead and disengage belly and thighs. Come up halfway, lengthen. Oh, relief. And then we'll go down, step the right leg back, setting up for a lunge. Keep the arms down and keep the back knee lifted if you're able. If you need to set it down, you can. Now in this position, first, let's elongate the spine. Draw the pelvis back, the chest forward. Spin the back heel up. Yeah, there it is. Now on the back leg, you're not really going anywhere, but try to pull the right leg towards the left. And that'll engage the inner thigh. Do you feel that? Yeah, and then back off. Let's do that 2 more times. So pull the right leg towards the left and back off. 1 more time. Now this time when you back off, don't back off completely. Keep it a little bit. And now think of the inner thigh lifting up towards the ceiling. Yeah. Now, that's the back leg. On the front leg, press down through the heel and try to push the heel forward, which will wake up, kind of turn on the muscles on the back of the leg. Now from here, keeping all of that, let's go lighter in your hands. We're gonna hold this position, either hands down, arms back, arms forward, but keep the torso in this line. Yeah, yogis. Who knew the lunge could be so much work? It's always work. No, but is anybody finding, like, when the legs really work to their ability, then the torso's a little lighter? No. Okay, come on down, rest. Take a couple times just to bend and straighten the front knee. Relax. Yeah. They're work, but if you keep doing them, they get easier. It might take a while, but all right, so we're going to do another pose with the left leg in front. Bend the knee. Turn the back heel down. I'm going to have my back to you. We'll come up to warrior 2 pose. Yeah, good. And let's actually put the hands to the hips for a second. Back off of the knee bend slightly. Look at the leg and just make sure the knee doesn't turn in. Lift the heel a little bit and then bend the knee a little deeper. Bring the heel down and come slightly out of it. So do that a few times. So heel lifts, deep in the bend. Heel comes down, come a little out. Yeah. All right, next time you come forward, stay. Bring the heel down. And now feel what happens when you press the heel down, like really press it. Do you feel that all the way into the leg? Awesome. Keep that in the front leg. Just square up the shoulders towards the long end of the mat. Take the arms out wide. And you can look over the left hand. You could look straight ahead, whatever feels most comfortable in your head and your neck. Now keep all of that going on in the front leg. On the back leg, just press straight down through the heel. Yeah, breathe. Warrior 2. And then we'll back off in the legs, bring the arms down, turn the back heel up, and it might feel good after that to bend and straighten the knee a couple of times. Yeah. All right, yogis. So from here, let's keep the front knee bent. Move the blocks out of your way. Let's go to plank pose, and we'll practice that little lift. You could do it with the knees down if you need. First, broaden the collarbones, and then just below the navel, lift. Inhale. On the exhale, lift again, but try not to round the back. Yeah, great. And it's okay, like my plank is fairly lifted, so we don't want to be here in plank. It's a lifted position. Let's come on down to the belly. Take a little break. You can take a little wiggle if you like. Now, earlier we did something with the knee bent and the little lifts. We'll do that again with an add-on. So we'll start with the right leg. Go ahead and bend the knee. Send the knee towards the back of the mat. Don't lift the pelvis, but let the right thigh lift. And it's just a little, like an inch or so. Now keeping the leg lifted, can you straighten the leg? Oh yeah, hamstring. And then relax. Do that 2 more times. So bend the knee. Send the knee back, lift the thigh, and then slowly straighten out the hamstrings. Not an easy thing to do. It's called an eccentric muscle contraction. And down. Last one. Bend, lift, straighten, and down. Oh, just relax a little bit, little wiggles. Same thing, side two. Bend, lift, straighten, oh, and down. Two more. Bend, lift, straighten, and down. Last one, bend, lift, straighten, and down. Oh, just take a second. Could you guys feel, for me, one side was so strong and the other side could hardly do it? Yeah, you need to do the weaker side more. All right, let's still go to down dog. Stretch it out a little bit. After those, it might feel better to do the wide dog. Feel free to do that, or even do a pigeon toe. Yeah. All right, guys, let's come to the front of the mat, feet to the hands. Just take a few halfway lifts. And then you can come down. It might feel better to bend the knees. Do that a few times. Bent or straight knees, your choice. Yeah. We've got another set of lunges to do. Great. So on the way down, let's step the left leg back, toes tucked under, back knee lifted if you can, arms down. First, let's elongate a little through the spine, through the torso. Oh, yeah, that was gorgeous. And then take the left leg. Don't go anywhere, but try to pull it towards the right side of the mat, and then back off. And do that a few times. Yeah. Now, let's hold the effort and then let it go somewhat, but not completely. Think of also now lifting the inner thigh up towards the ceiling. That's the back leg. Now on the front leg, press the heel firmly down and try to press the heel forward so the back of the leg turns on. Let's keep that in both legs. You decide you could lighten up the hands. Arms could stretch back on the diagonal. Arms could stretch forward on the diagonal. We're going to hold for a little bit, so you choose. Now, yes, indeed, there's a lot of work going on through the lower half of the body. Can you lighten up a little through the upper half of the body? Make sure you can breathe. Yeah. Okay, down come your arms. Back off the leg effort. Take a few rounds to bend and straighten. Yeah. Okay, friends, we've got a warrior two. Let's keep the front knee bent. Turn the back heel down to the floor and bring yourself up to warrior two. And then we'll back off a little, hands to the hips. Turn your vision just to watch the right knee and the foot. And we want the whole time the knee to track forward. Back off a little bit and then lift the heel slightly to rebend the knee. Then lower the heel and come out of it a bit. So do that a few times. Every time you deepen the bend, lift the heel a little bit. Yeah, and this is not an always do this every time you bend the knee, but I find that it gives a little more mobility in the hip socket when the heel is lifted. So let's pause. Next time the front knee is bent, heel is down. Once it's down, now press it down and see how that firms up all the way into the hip. Yeah, it's amazing. Now, we'll square up the chest towards the long end of the mat, go wide apart with the arms. Now on the back heel, just press straight down through the back heel. Yeah. Mercedes, what happened? She almost fell. Brianna, can you lift the arms a little higher? Yes. Everybody breathe. Yes. Virabhadrasana too. Jill, you look so solid. Yeah, nice, Kathy. All right, friends, let's windmill the arms down, relax the front leg, turn the back heel up, take a few rounds just to bend and straighten again. Oh, that feels good, doesn't it? The straight feels good. Okay. And then we'll pause with the knee bent. Let's go back just to down dog. We'll skip plank on this side. Okay, yeah. So come to child's pose for a second. A few seconds, yeah. Maybe a little movement, maybe nothing. Maybe just do nothing for a sec. Okay. Now from here, we'll do a little bit similar work, but more now for the quads. So let's come, just get there, no fanfare, into a lunge with the knee down. We'll have the left leg forward, the right leg back. Feel free to have a blanket under the knee. And then if you can't keep the toes tucked under for this one, do. If that bothers the knee, you can have the toes straight. But let's come up, hands to the hips, and be kind of on the diagonal. Also, resist. I know some of you are pretty open. Resist the temptation to go as big as you can here. We'll get there, but for now, we'll do it. I promise. We'll do it. But for now, back off a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Now from here, try to drive the right knee forward. It won't go. What's that? It can be back a little bit, but not back too far. Yeah. So again, you're trying to drag the right leg forward, which will wake up the front of the leg. And then back off. Do that one more time. Let's add on, keep that. Lift up through the pit of the abdomen. And then you'll keep the lift in the abdomen, back off slightly on the leg. And then let the front foot scooch a little forward, let the pelvis come a little forward. But don't lose the lift in the belly. Yeah. You can lift the right arm. And then take a small side bend over to the left. Yeah. Good. And then come up. Let's release the arms down. Just step the front leg back, and we'll step the back leg forward. Just change sides. No, I'm tired. All right, so back off your max capacity. Tuck the back toes under if you can. And if that feels really crummy, it's okay to keep the toes down, but it just adds a little something for this with the toes tucked. Yeah. Now, without going anywhere, try to drag the back leg forward and back off. Do that again. Drag the leg forward and back off. One more time, drag it forward. Lift up through the belly. That's it. And then back off a little bit on the drag forward, but not completely. You can scooch the right foot a little forward. Let the pelvis come a little forward. Don't lose the lift in the belly. Stretch the left arm straight up to the sky. Maybe a little over to the right. Yeah. Are you guys getting that in the front of the left leg? Oh, good. So good. And then up you come. Release, come down. Let's go back. Yeah, down dog or child's pose, or just sit for a second. I know it's, and it's, again, I wouldn't always say to do it this way, but just for today, we're working on something special. So we're almost out of time, you guys. So this next one will be a little easier. Let's go get your thing that you can roll and roll it. Your rollable something, so approximately this size. And then you'll pop this over onto the right side of the mat, and there's like 6-8 inches of it on the mat. The rest of it's off the mat on the side. Now you'll come lay down on your belly, and the roll will go just above the right knee. The left leg will be on the floor, and the right leg will be hovering a little bit. Just above the right knee on the quad muscles. Don't have it on the knee itself. That won't feel good. Yeah. Okay. Mercedes, this was okay on your back, or does it feel crummy in the back? It's okay. Yeah. Sometimes if you have a alert, sometimes this doesn't feel great. So let me know. Now from here, make like a fist with your right quad muscle. So like right above the knee, just try to engage that and then let it go. Do that a few times. So just squeeze and relax and squeeze and relax. Stay relaxed, bend up the knee, and then just do a lazy side to side, like a windshield wiper swish on the right leg. And the pelvis will move, the torso will move. You might even roll a little on the left leg too. Yeah. So now from here, either scooch the roll forward or scooch your body back so the roll is about mid-thigh. Yeah. Now for this one, for many of us, the knee can tend to hyperextend. So if that's you, you can have a little bend in the knee. If it feels okay to keep the leg straight and having it just kind of dangle, that's fine. Now, can you engage the quad again here? But it'll feel different because the roll is in a different place. And then relax. Do that a couple of times. Bree, can you move the roll a little lower on the leg? Yes, it's like right in the middle. Is that okay? Yeah, and do that a few times. Just that engage, squeeze, and release. Yeah. And then from here, let's bend and do the swish side to side. Now in a second, we'll get to a third spot on the leg, and instructions will be slightly different just because just because. Okay, so relax the leg and now adjust so the roll is pretty up high, not all the way as high as the hip crease. It's kind of right where the fleshy part of the leg starts at the top there. Now from this position, go ahead and bend the knee just loosely. Inhale. At the top of the inhale, pause and press the leg into the roll. And then on the exhale, relax. Yeah, so that's a few times. Inhale. At the top of the inhale, press and relax. One more time like that. Yeah. Now stay in the relaxed state. And when we do our swish for this one, it might feel nice to roll a little more towards your right side, almost rolling over onto your side. And that'll get into the muscle known as vastus lateralis, kind of the top of it there. Yeah. You guys at home, you should see the class. Everyone's just like rolling. It looks great. Okay. And then let's come out of that. Take the roll aside. Rest, yeah, just rest on the belly. And now bring into mind that same idea of just your imprint in the sand without getting a face full of sand. And notice how you lie the right side versus the left side from doing that. Yeah. So we better do the left side, I think. Come on up, and you can either turn your body around or put the roll on the second side. I'm gonna show just so you have a different angle here. So you'll pop it over on the left leg just above the knee. You can either rest all the way down or prop up a little on the arms. Now from here, again, it's not on the knee, it's just above the knee. You'll make a fist with the muscles right above the knee, and then relax. Do that a few times. We'll contract, release. Yeah, and then we'll stay in the relaxed state, bend the knee, and side to side we go, one-legged windshield wiper. Yes, you guys. Okay, let's pause and scooch either the roll up or your body down. So it's about mid-thigh. If it feels crummy to have the leg straight, bend it a little bit. If it feels fine to have it straight, have it straight. So same thing, you'll contract the muscle and relax. And it's the same muscle, it's just a different section of it, so it'll feel different. Yeah. And then the next time it's relaxed, stay like that, bend the knee and swish side to side. My quads, it's like thunk, thunk, thunk. All right. And now we'll head into our last spot here on the left side. And it's below the hip crease, right at the very top of where the kind of the bulge happens. And then we'll bend the knee, but a loose bend. Inhale. At the top of the inhale, pause and press. Leg into the roll. And then exhale, relax. Yeah, so do that a few times. Inhale, pause, and press. And relax. Yeah, you can use your arm, your core will probably engage a little bit to press. Yeah. All right. And then next time it's relaxed, stay like that and take your side to side, possibly rolling more over to the left side. Possibly not, you know. We want to be kind to ourselves, not aggressive here. Yeah. We could maybe one day do a whole class of like rolling around in various ways. And some of you are like, yay, and some of you are like, no, I hope not. All right, friends, when we're done, let's come off the roll. Ugh, just rest for a moment. Lie down in the sand and notice your imprint. Yeah. Now, after that, the back will likely want a little stretch, either child's pose or down dog, or you could do kind of a halfway in between the two. That's what I'm going to take. All right, friends. From here, we'll turn over. We're nearing the end here, heading towards Shavasana. So gather any props that you think you want to have. And if you'd like to take one last little, let me show it. This heel rocks. You'll be flat, legs straight, dig the heels into the floor and do like a little point and flex so it'll jiggle your body up and down. Yeah. And you could go kind of quick with it, or you could keep it kind of slow, but whatever you do, let the reverb happen up and down the whole body. Yeah. Breathe. Dig your heels more into the floor and then create a little more of a, yeah, there it is, there it is. All right, guys. So when you are done with heel rocks, you choose when that is. Let the movement settle. Do feel free to gather any props that you need. I'm going to turn the lights off. Yeah. And let your body rest. In the very beginning of our class today, we took a little scan from head to toe. Let's take that again, starting at the head, just moving all the way down the body. If you remember where the spots were in the beginning, let's see if it feels any different now. Can you relax your face, your eyes, your mouth, your tongue? Can you relax your belly? Bring your awareness back to your body. And it might feel good to bring some movement to your fingers, your toes, your head. Take whatever you need. And then eventually, let your knees bend. Roll over onto one side. And take your time to come up to sit. Any way you'd like to sit. Bring hands to heart center. Thank your body for everything that it's able to do. And thank yourself for being here. Namaste.